Amrita, my head's spinning. Up, up, up we go, down, down, down we go. Why do you suggest at some point oil gets a bid and moves higher?
Well, that's kind of why I say there's a difference between tactical and structural, right? Like right now, liquidity is thin, people are away on holiday, there's more machines than humans, and we can continue to kind of trade in this very technical band, going up $5 in a day, going down $10 in another day, no problems. But structurally, this is a market defined by underinvestment. We just haven't been investing enough. For 8 years now, right? This isn't because of Russia. This isn't because of COVID. It has been going on for a long time. So that doesn't change overnight. And right now, even above $100, there isn't really an incentive to increase investment. And I think that's why we remain structurally bullish this space.
What do you think that means for gasoline prices, with the average price below $4.50 in the United States now, Amrita, a 35-day slide? What do you make of that?
I mean, look, right now, again, these have been driven by recessionary fears. And I still think in the short term, prices can correct lower once again. That doesn't change the fact that overall refining capacity is extremely tight. Remember, gasoline does have seasonality in its favor. We are going to come out of the peak summer driving season, and we do foresee a much weaker winter gasoline pricing. But then next summer, we're going to have, again, very similar high prices, right? Whereas diesel is the one to watch out for. That's really been the tightness in the market. And again, with the European embargo kicking in early next year for products, Russia exports a lot of diesel, about 600,000 barrels per day to Europe. That's where the real tightness is going to be much more than gasoline.
Well, Amrita, we know that the prices at the pump have dogged President Biden for some time. He is trying to take whatever measure he can to get those down in a sustainable way, hence the trip to the Middle East and the visit at Saudi Arabia. The Biden administration seemed optimistic that we were going to see Saudi, the UAE, start to pump more, tap into that excess capacity. What do you actually expect OPEC Plus to do come August 3rd?
We are expecting them to increase production gradually. I mean, look, in theory, the deal ends in December, so they shouldn't be changing anything after they've unwound all the cuts, which was for August, right? Now, that doesn't mean that OPEC Plus are just going to sit on their hands, because not increasing production for 4 months would massively over-tighten this already tight market. So the market is, we're all expecting them to continue adding in small increments, just like they have been over the last 4 months of the year as well. But I reckon the Biden administration will take that as a win. They'll probably spin that as a win and say, look, it's because of the trip to the Middle East, whereas the reality is that that was always going to happen.
Amrita, I want you to describe, just briefly, what would happen in Europe if Nord Stream 1 doesn't come back online this Thursday. What does the situation look like? Where does Germany get its energy from? Just walk us all through it.
So, look, on our balances, we're actually not even expecting them to come back in next week. I know that's obviously the focus in the market. We have been building a scenario where it takes a lot longer to come back. We do think if Russia is actually playing logically and economically, they will have to bring Nord Stream 1 back by the end of October. Otherwise, they will have to shut down fields domestically. That might lead to more long-term damage for their gas fields. So that's yet to be seen. Of course, if they choose to go down a political route, then that's very different. But they still have until October to make that mind up.
Amrita, this is critical because the non-sophisticates like me sort of go, well, if Russia doesn't sell to Europe, they can sell to other people, India, China, et cetera, et cetera. If they have to play with Nord Stream 2, as John is an expert on, can they move the hydrocarbons over to other countries or not?
See, you could do that for oil. You can't do it for gas. Gas in Russia particularly is very, very distinct. The gas that comes to Europe simply cannot be redirected to the east. It will take years to build new pipelines, to redirect the flows, and that's where this becomes a real struggle for both sides, right? And to John's point, that Europe, I mean, you've already seen Germany come out putting measures to cut down consumption, nationalize some of the utility companies. This is just the start. Things are going to get materially worse for Europe when it comes to its power situation.
Amrita, you got to the heart of it. In your assumptions, do you assume that Vladimir Putin is still a rational economic actor?
For now, yes. I mean, that's look. Let's put it this way. We are saying that should Nord Stream 1 not come back by October, then we will very clearly know that he is not. But our base case still is that it does come back, but with a very, very high probability and risk that it could get delayed further and probably just not come back, because again, that's where the swing factor really comes in. That what's the signal that he's trying to send. But even if it is end October, for Europe, I mean, given the heat wave that's going on right now, the call on gas is very, very high. And then we just will not be building into the winter. I think that is, I mean, I cannot stress how important that is and how much upside there is to gas prices. One of the things we are seeing right now, with gas so high, we are getting oil back into the power mix as a result of this.